Hi, I'm Dr. Beverly Yates, ND, America's diabetes reversal doctor, and I help people with type 2 diabetes and prediabetes take back control of their health. And right now, we're going to cover this specific topic. Here, overall, our focus is progress, not perfection. Let's dive in. Now, listen, let's talk about these things that are confusing that we think are healthy for our blood sugar that aren't. One is fruit juice. That's right, fruit juice. A lot of people are told, oh, yeah, just have some fruit juice. That's a healthy option. Nope, it's not. Even 100% natural juices, they're loaded with sugar. A single glass can contain as much sugar as a soda. Wow, right? Like, I think we all know that soda is not a healthy option, but it turns out fruit juice isn't either if you have concerns about your blood sugar. So now a 12-ounce can of soda, which is 0.35 liters, typically contains about 10 teaspoons of sugar. That's about 42 grams. All of this is added sugar. We do not need added sugar in our foods and beverages. A 12-ounce glass of fruit juice, for comparison, which is about 0.35 liters, typically contains 30 to 36 grams of sugar. That's about 9 to 10 teaspoons of sugar. Now I can hear you thinking, but Doc, come on now. Fruit's natural. It's all natural. The sugar in it, therefore, is natural. It can't hurt me, right? Wrong. If you have a problem with your blood sugar, like type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, polycystic ovarian syndrome, also known as PCOS, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, or have what is called mild cognitive impairment, also known as MCI, or type 3 diabetes, on your road to dementia and Alzheimer's, you are vulnerable to the effects of drinking or eating too many simple carbs at one time. Hey, friends, while we're talking about this, and if you think that drinking diet soda is somehow better, that it has no issues, think again. Although a diet soda does not contain the added sugar per se, because it does have that sweet taste, right? Your taste buds on your tongue are getting tricked by that sweet flavor, right? That's the whole premise of a diet soda. Gives you the sweet taste, doesn't have sugar. However, this is important. These taste buds, they send that sweet signal, right, to your brain. Your brain perceives the sweet taste and then says, hey, there's calories on the way. When something's sweet, it means I'm going to get fed calories. Well, time goes by. An hour and a half later, your brain realizes, hey, I didn't get in my calories. Where are my calories? And then suddenly you might feel that you're hungry. So now if you're drinking diet sodas and you notice that pattern about an hour and a half after you drink them, you're hungry. Aha! You're one of these people who's sensitive that way. In fact, you might even feel hungry and angry. And you might find yourself going to go do what now? To go get a snack. That's right. It can create this endless cycle, really, of mindless snacking. You aren't genuinely hungry, but because you tricked your tongue with the diet soda, you tricked your brain, it's making you pay the price later on. All right. But anyway, back to talking about fruit juice. So, despite what it might seem like, fruit juice is not a healthy option for blood sugar control. And here the portions are going to matter a lot. Now, back in the day when I was a little girl, a juice glass was about 4 ounces. That's about 0.11 liters. It's about a tenth of a liter. Now, that amount might sound okay, and probably for most people it is. Here in the US, certainly, in many parts of the world, today's world, fruit juice is poured into much larger glasses than what used to be a juice glass of 4 ounces. And people think it's okay to drink all of this at the same time, drink it all at once. Nope, not a good idea. All right, let's check out the differences in these sizes of glasses that the fruit juice is served in. All right, so now let me show you a 1 ounce glass just to get us started. All right, that's 1 ounce right there. And for comparison now, next, here's what a 4 ounce glass actually looks like, a shot glass. When I was a little girl, these were taller and skinnier. Same amount though, it's 4 ounces. Here's 8 ounces, 12 ounces. And then finally, for comparison, 16 ounces. Now, look, when you think about just the volume of this, you have to realize this is a lot of fruit juice to take in all at once, right? Like, wow, the glass is as tall as my head. It's too much at one time. The same could be said for a regular soda, fruit juice, whatever, anything that's sugary like that, like a latte, these various coffee drinks. You just have to be thoughtful about what you're drinking and what its impact is. What does it really mean for you, right? So, this is a friendly reminder about the need to test how your body responds to what you eat and drink. Please test, don't guess, so you know how your blood sugar levels are responding to drinking any kind of fruit juice, even if it does not taste sweet. Don't let your taste buds fool you. Some people who are vulnerable to blood sugar issues, maybe they don't totally taste sweet as easily as other people do, so it takes more sweetness for them to register a sweet taste. They're going to be at risk, right? That tends to be true for people who have diabetes, especially if it runs in the family. So just be aware of that. So, even if it doesn't taste sweet, don't let your taste buds fool you. Even if your tongue doesn't think something has lots of sugar in it, including naturally occurring sugar like what's found in fruits or fruit juices, it might still blow up your blood sugar levels. All right, so here's a tip. Let's do a swap. Swap out that fruit juice for water, for herbal tea, plain tea, coffee, or decaf. If you're having a hard time kicking the sweet, try this. If you don't want to decrease your fruit juice all at once and just simply drink water, dilute the fruit juice by half. So if you normally have a fruit juice glass, let's say of 8 ounces, instead of having 8 ounces, have the 4 ounces for the eight, and then add another 4 ounces of water. Dilute it by half. Let's see if that helps you. Over time, I've seen lots of people use that approach in order to kick that fruit juice habit. All right. Next up, let's talk about granola. All kinds of myths to bust in this video. Stay with us all the way to the end, okay? So, granolas typically are marketed as healthy, but most brands are actually blood sugar bombs. Usually, this is a mix of grains, typically whole grains or partially whole grains, but they are indeed blood sugar bombs. It is promoted as a healthy breakfast option or a healthy snack option. Granola can cause big swings in your blood sugar levels and put you on the blood sugar roller coaster, which is not a good place to be. So now let me switch screens and show you what I mean. So here, if you're on the blood sugar roller coaster, you're going along, living your life, and you have the granola, and then bam, you get this big blood sugar spike. Then you come down and crash on the other side of that. And then similarly, back up, down, and your blood sugar might bounce around for a while when you have granola. So just know when you're going through this with your blood sugar, your organs are doing a lot of work. You probably don't feel your best. You might be kind of shaky, or you feel a little depressed, or you feel anxious. You might be feeling irritable. You might also notice that your energy has plummeted, right? You feel really, really tired. This can magnify emotional problems being on this blood sugar roller coaster. It does not feel good. Okay? All right. Let me switch screens. So, bottom line for granolas, always read the label on any bag of granola or the label on the container if you buy it in bulk. Check it out. Even if you bought it at the health food store, you bought it in bulk, you need to know what's on that label. Look at the nutrition facts part of the package and carefully read what it says for the serving size, total carbohydrates, and added sugar. Look at those specifically, those line items on the nutrition facts on the label. Often that serving size that they represent is small, like a third of a cup. That's like a few tablespoons. That's not much, folks, or about 30 grams. And the added sugars are one third to two-thirds of the total carbohydrate content. Wow, that's a lot. Like it would be so much better to just have that complex, slow burning, resistant starch kind of carbohydrate rather than this stuff. Just sugar, it's bad news for your blood sugar. So, as I explained when I was talking about being on the blood sugar roller coaster, test, don't guess, so you know exactly how your body responds to eating a granola of any kind. Now, if you enjoy granola and you still want to eat it, choose a granola that has no added sugar at all and only contains actual whole foods, including oats or sunflower seeds, chia seeds, quinoa, walnuts, etc. Do the best you can with what you have access to, all right? Once we know better, we do better. Okay, so what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to this channel. This way you can help me grow the channel and reach others with this information. Thank you so much. It would be lovely if you also turned on notifications so you know every time when I'm posting a video. All right, next up, let's talk about whole wheat bread. Sounds healthy, but this too can also spike your glucose, also known as blood sugar, just like white bread can do. So eating bread can be okay for some people and a blood sugar disaster for others. Who we are matters. Take a moment to notice how you feel after you eat bread. You might feel emotionally happy, but is your rest of your body responding that way, right? Do you notice that you have more in the way of joint pain? Does it spike your blood sugar? Does your blood sugar crash? Does it both spike and then crash, right? Like I showed you the picture earlier of the blood sugar roller coaster. Do you later feel hangry, which is a combination of hungry and angry? Does your belly bloat? Any number of things can happen sometimes when people eat bread. This includes whole wheat bread. So now when people eat white bread typically, meaning bread without its actual natural fiber husk, so it's bread that's been made with refined flour, it's been created by stripping away that natural fibrous outer husk from the original grain, like say for wheat or for rice, other grains, right? Blood sugar sometimes gets hammered. A typical swap offered is to exchange the whole wheat bread for bread made with white wheat flour. Now, once on the surface, it sounds like a healthy swap, right? So if you normally eat white bread, people say, hey, switch over to whole wheat flour. However, for many people with this blood sugar spike situation, it's actually not such a win. So, you have to find out what's going to work with you. Test your blood sugar so you know if you can eat whole wheat bread, if that's a healthy option for you or not. All right, next up, healthy cereals. Now, listen, most are high in carbs and hidden sugars, right? Shocking, huh? We all know that this is an issue, but let's find out why. Friends, this is one where you must read the labels. That's right, check the nutrition facts for any cereals you eat. It's a real eye-opener. Sometimes these things are sold in huge cartons, huge boxes, under the premise of saving you money, but it might be messing up your health. All right, so let's look a little deeper at an example cereal label. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, now when we look here at the nutrition facts, this was a sample from the FDA website here in the US. We look at the serving size. It's 2/3 of a cup. Again, that's not much, but hey, this is the portion size that they based all the rest of this on. Calories, that's kind of okay. Thing to look at here. Total carbs, wow, 37 grams. This is approaching the realm of soda, like we showed earlier, and fruit juice. In particular, notice that the total sugars are 12 grams and the added sugars is 10 grams. So, um, 25% to 30%, approaching maybe a third of the total carbohydrate content of this particular cereal is added sugar. That's not what you want. That's the point that I want to make. All right, change screens. Okay. So now let's visit what are some of the names of the various added sugars that are added to cereal so you can know what to watch out for, right? So when you read your labels, you might see these various names go by for added sugar, all right? Goes by a lot of different names. In fact, could be syrup, could be high fructose corn syrup, HFCS, could be sugar, could be cane sugar, could be sucrose, dextrose, maltose, honey, nectar, agave nectar, molasses. So beware. Any of these can spike your blood sugar. If you see these in combination on your cereals, beware. It's added to the natural carbohydrate content that the grains contain in a cereal and put in all these other manipulations to make the thing taste sweeter. These are added sugars you do not need. They do not benefit you in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you below in the comments. If you find the video helpful, please share it and subscribe to this channel and turn your notifications on. This way you can help me grow the channel. Thank you so much. I can reach others with this info. All right, next up, smoothies. Now watch out for the fruit-heavy ones. They're often sugar overloads on steroids. They're a big deal. They're a real problem. Smoothies that are primarily fruit can be trouble for blood sugar control. And when you buy smoothies at the store, also watch out if they're adding or pouring in additional sugar or syrup or anything else that tastes sweet. And this includes if they add in fruit juice. Smoothies are often promoted as healthy snack options when they might not be in reality. Always test your blood sugar levels to see how you respond to any kind of smoothie. You can indeed add protein to these and fiber to them and see if this helps the blood sugar situation. It might improve the impact. The best idea is to avoid smoothies that are mostly fruits, especially if the fruit was peeled. Once a fruit is peeled, you are missing out on the goodness, the richness, and the fiber that it can naturally benefit your body, right? It can help to improve your blood sugar control and feed the healthy, good kinds of bacteria and other organisms in your gut that are part of your gut's microbiome. So please keep the skin on the fruit when enjoying it. Your gut's microbiome will say thank you and probably reward you with a healthier level of blood sugar. Similarly, while we're here talking about smoothies and fruits, please be mindful of so-called green smoothies, as these too can be overloaded with too much in the way of peeled fruit and can even have added sugars in the form of fruit juices in the blend. Always, always know what's going in that smoothie. If you've made it yourself, you're in control. If you bought it outside of your house, pay attention, all right? So, as explained above, the fruit juice is a problem, including when it is part of a smoothie. All right, next up, dried fruit. Let's take a peek at that. Now, just a handful can have a sugar of several fruits. So if you just have a handful of, say, dried apricots or dried dates, dried figs, etc., just know, though, that that represents eating a whole piece of fruit, dried, shrunk down. Now, this can surprise folks who think that a few pieces of dried fruit have the same blood sugar impact as a piece of fresh fruit. They may not be the same in how they respond for you. So check your blood sugar levels, please, when you eat this dried fruit so you know what works for you and your health needs. You might find that eating 2 or 3 dried apricots, for example, or dates are fine, while eating strips of dried mango or dried pineapple are trouble for your blood sugar. Please test, don't guess, so you know what your bio-individual response is. And then now next up, our final stop here is flavored yogurt. That's right. Many people are told that flavored yogurt or yogurt in general is great for your health. Ha! Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. If you eat dairy products like yogurt, please know that many contain added sugars. Go for plain Greek yogurt instead. If you eat non-dairy products like coconut milk or almond milk-based yogurts, please know that these may contain added sugars too. Whatever the case may be, read the label so you know what's in it. There's a theme here, huh? Now, here's a tip. One idea that works well most of the time is to buy the plain version of the yogurt or non-dairy yogurt, and then you can add your own flavors, your own seeds, nuts, chia seeds, and some fresher frozen fruit with the peel on, please. This should add up to less than half, maybe even less than a third, maybe even less than like 20% of the added sugar of the commercially prepared yogurt. This will be a huge win for your health. So choosing that plain yogurt puts you back in charge of what you're eating and its possible impacts on your blood sugar levels. Did any of this information surprise you? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to this channel. Kindly turn the notifications on. This way you'll know when the next videos are uploaded. This also helps me to grow the channel and to reach others with this information. Thank you so much. Please take great care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish.